According to a very good source, this is the brand new slogan that Meghan Markle is now uttering while wandering around that Montecito mansion. And it's quite a simple mantra: I'm in charge. What does it mean though exactly? Hi, good morning, Neil Sean here in the very heart of London. And as ever, thank you so much for your company today. Nice to see you. I hope you're all keeping well. Listen, by the way, thank you for your kind comments about those hugs that we sent out to the lovely people out in Florida and around the world that are suffering from bad weather. Terrible times, I know, truly. And people blame it on climate change. Honestly, it's hard to say, isn't it? We just seem to have these freak weather moments, and yes, they seem to be coming on a more of a regular occurrence, but truly, who's to know? If you look back in the history books, they had the same thing, but perhaps they didn't have the means to record the way that we do today. Just a thought as ever. Back as ever also to your breaking roll story of the day. Now, as we reported a couple of days ago, it's interesting to note that Meghan and Harry now have decided to go it alone in the PR stakes. Frightening sort of proposition when you think about it, really. They spent around about 5 years and millions of dollars with a company, according to a very good source, and as ever, we have to say allegedly, that they didn't feel were getting, shall we say, the right sort of PR, and I'm being kind. When you think about it from Meghan and Harry's point of view, of course, it's difficult, you know. I've worked with both sides of the coin. The artist, you know, the client wants one thing, and the PR team know really what's available and what they can get. And to marry the two is very difficult indeed. As we know now, though, it's interesting because they've decided to sever ties, being dumped, which way you want to look at it. You know, it never ends well when you split up with an agent or a PR team. Trust me, it never ends well. But now, according to that particular source, Meghan Markle is taking personal charge along with her executive operations director, who apparently is going to be shaping the plan moving forward. Now, you know, it's a difficult task, isn't it? Let's be honest, you know. Whichever way you turn, whatever they do, it's going to be very hard. I tell you what is interesting though, which we've just found out. Remember about 2-3 years ago now, maybe even longer, Harry and Meghan drew up a list of magazines, periodicals, newspapers that they were now not willing to talk to. Right, that's right, oh yes. And apparently it's because they didn't necessarily like them. They were going to give people a chance who were from struggling outlets, you know, a chance for their chance to shine, you know, journalists to experience interviewing someone of their caliber. Didn't really see too much of that, did you, really, when you think about it? The magazine The Cut isn't necessarily struggling, is it? But as ever, there's a lot of guff, but not necessarily anything to back it up with. Well, according to that good source, and as ever, we have to say allegedly, all of that now has been ripped up. They're quite willing to talk to literally anybody, as long as there's some guidelines, you know, copy approval, picture approval, that sort of stuff, possibly writing their own copy and just giving you it if you're willing to publish it. Not many are, let me tell you. But I think what's interesting here is Meghan claims that she's going to be the driver, the sort of instigator of exactly how their narrative is now going to be presented to the world's media. One can only wonder what's coming next. And of course, if you think about it, given the fact that she guided Prince Harry into those ill-advised interviews with Oprah Winfrey, her own sit-down interview with Oprah, and numerous other publications, then perhaps she's going to be making a return at some point to social media to make sure that she feels she can get her story directly from her mouth through to the people. Will it work? As ever, only time will tell. But sometimes you just feel a little bit sorry for Prince Harry, don't you? Neil Sean in the very heart of London.